The Prime Initiative.
So in 1994, Alex Proyas made a film called The Crow, starring Brandon Lee. Back then, films were a little different, right? One of the best things that transpired within the 80s and 90s pertaining to films were the stories that were told, right? The story of The Crow by far is pretty fantastic. I love it. It is a it's a definite love story for sure. So anyone going in to see any Crow movie, whether it be the original Crow 1994 or City of Angels, and again 2024 The Crow with Skarsgård here, it's a love story. You're not gonna walk in there thinking it's full action, right? So when I saw The Crow in 1994, it definitely was the first of its kind. It was adapted from a graphic novel, which was amazing as well, but it was very gothic. A lot of heart in that story. When the film came out, it was Brandon Lee, right? And Brandon Lee at that time was an action star. Of course, he was Bruce Lee's son, right? So here we have now 2024, The Crow with Skarsgård. Now, if you're going in there thinking it's just like The Crow from 1994, it's not. It's not a sequel. It's more of a remake. And I have to say, um, I liked it, but wait for the rental. There's no reason why you need to watch this film in a theater setting. Um, it is a film that you can take with someone, like a significant other or on a date, right? It's great for that. I'll be honest with you. I liked it, but I could have waited for the rental. Um, as far as the story is concerned, it's definitely adapted for the times now. In watching 1994's The Crow and then comparing it to this one, you could definitely see certain Easter eggs that are in there. The way that they made Skarsgård as the Crow was actually pretty good. He's this rebellious young man falling in love with this particular female, right? It is a little different of a story setting than the original one was, um, but I think again by far you could just wait for the rental. Um, it's There is a particular scene in this film that I really admire. The way when towards the third act, or rather once the crow, I'm not going to spoil anything, but once the crow has particular abilities, it definitely picks up from there. You know, but it is a slow burn. Like I said, it's one of those films that you want to go in there open-minded with a significant other. If your significant other hasn't seen The Crow, or you yourself haven't seen any of The Crow movies or films, then this one might be a treat for you. But again, Skarsgård did a fantastic role. Don't get me wrong. Actually, in fact, I personally think he would have done a great Devil May Cry. Um, he definitely fit that role as like the young Dante in DMC. So I really enjoyed that part. The makeup was great. You know, again, if you're a fan of the 1994 film, I say just stick with that and wait for this for as a rental and don't take it too seriously. Again, I liked it, and you could definitely see that it's going to set up for something else. But on the same side of that coin, it was definitely just a rental. One of my biggest gripes with this was the way the pacing of the movie. It was definitely a slow burn. It's a love story, so they do emphasize a lot of the relationship between both parties. Skarsgård and his female love interest. You know, so that in itself, I could see why they had to really drive that into in the movie. But it was kind of a slow burn. Again, there was one big iconic scene that I really enjoy, and if you guys see it, you definitely know what I'm talking about. But besides that, don't get me wrong, this is a love story. It's not like The Notebook or anything, but it's a love story. The way they executed again one of the final scenes was pretty awesome. Again, look at him. Doesn't he give you DMC vibes? Dante from Devil May Cry, right? I think he would play an awesome Dante. And I do have to give credit to Skarsgård. I think he's a phenomenal actor, and I think if he plays his cards right, or if he gets the roles that he rightfully deserves, he will be one of the most awesome action stars. Also, so again, wait for the rental. Um, there's no reason why you need to really see this on the big screen. Uh, I now in retrospect and thinking about it, we could have definitely just waited for the rental. I had a great time watching it. It was fun, but I really don't think it was executed well. One of the major gripes that I have with this is the way they portrayed the antagonist, the villain. That actor is he's an amazing actor. He nailed his role perfectly. However, on the whole different aspect, on the whole creative side and the whole writing aspect, they didn't really explain the villain as much. So you're kind of I had that same feeling that I had when I went to go watch Prometheus, where I was excited because, I saw the original films and I come to see this film and I'm like I'm left with more questions than anything. So, anyway, my opinion, I would say just wait for the rental. Not really worth watching on the big screen.
The Prime Initiative.